Philly, Philly, Philly. We demoralized you without Ben Simmons. You cheesesteaks are in trouble.
Top on. Top on. Top on.
Yo, how good did that shit feel yesterday, man?
That felt like the shit that you got to take on a long drive home. You finally make it home. And like 3 minutes before you're home, your stomach finally calms down. But once you see that door, you start rumbling again. Because it's been a long time since you had anything to feel good about with the Nets. I mean, like, I didn't really particularly feel good after the Charlotte win. I mean, I was happy they won, but this was the kind of game we all needed, or at least, us that are the more pessimistic fans needed to say, oh, yeah, this is what it can be. So, felt great last night, and, we'll talk about it for sure.
In our little group, I think I might be the most optimistic, foolishly optimistic, but what else do I have? This wasn't a season that felt good, right?
Yeah, I think I've kind of dragged Sam down into the. He was more optimistic before I got my hands on
him. You have soaked them in some sorrow though. But listen, it hasn't been a good season, right?
No, they're one game over 500,
and
and the 8th seed facing a first round play-in, potentially without the engine of the team.
Right, and we'll talk about that. But for last night, based off of who it was, the circumstances around it, and just how thorough of an ass whooping that was.
Yeah, and it wasn't even the game where you ever felt like, oh, here comes the run. It never even got to that point. It looked
I
like
saw some people on the timeline weirdly thinking that here they come. Like, no, it never felt close.
I think Philly was shell shocked, and I think they were so focused on the Ben Simmons aspect of it that they didn't realize that the Nets were the ones who took it personal. Like, the players traded to the Nets didn't want to be traded, right? So that's a personal thing. You traded me. The Nets players who were still on the team, the staff were like, this guy wanted out of us. Like, Harden has no ill will towards the Nets, right? He got what he wanted here. I think the Nets took this way more personally than Philly did, and my favorite part was kind of seeing Kyrie getting into Harden's shit early in the game. And one of the things I tend to do when the Nets have a big win, I always smoke my post-game pot. Mm-hmm. And I like to go and watch.
Whether they win or lose, I smoke my post-game. I'm smoking right now.
I like watching the post-game from the other team.
Right.
If it's like a Knicks fan TV type thing, or if it's just like the team broadcast, whatever it is, whatever I can find, I like to watch. And there was one of the Philly ones was on their Fox Sports broadcast, and their sideline reporter was like, I was sitting sideline, and Kyrie Irving was drawing at James Harden after every basket, and I love that. I love hearing that kind of shit. KD getting into it with Embiid, I love that kind of shit. I love the Philly fans.
Yo,
fucking assholes?
Hold on a second. How do you think Kyrie Irving's trash talk sounds? Like, what do you think he's saying?
Let me careful, you'll fall off the earth, motherfucker.
Let me transcendentally
reverse. He's like, are you even indigenous? Are you even indigenous?
You fake ass indigenous.
Yeah,
motherfucker.
That fuck. I think Kyrie's got there's a cocksucker in Kyrie because
What? How? What? In? What are
yeah,
you talking about? Like, that's that's my favorite part of Kyrie. Kyrie,
but
Kyrie thinks he's 6'10". Kyrie believes that inside his mind he's 6'10". So in reality, that makes him 6'10", and
no,
he
what I mean
plays
by
like
the
that
cocks,
too.
like Kyrie is like the love and peace guy, but in reality he's like a pompous
Yeah,
prick,
he's Steve
and
Jobs.
he's like, yo, this fat shit, like thought we were the problem, like yo, you suck, motherfucker.
Yeah,
Like he thinks James Harden sucks.
he does. He 100% does.
Yeah,
And
he's like
and
this fat
KD
fuck is
probably was
washed.
telling him, nah, James, he he does X, Y, and Z. But Kyrie was like, even last year, I feel like he felt this way last year. That Kyrie was like, really, this is this one, Kevin. He was your sixth man in OKC. What do we got the sixth man of the year ass nigga on this team, yo? Yo, that game gave me so much fucking pleasure.
But I
Say it
have to
any
be
other way.
I have to be the pessimist here.
How?
'Cause it's
What
just a
pessimism
tease.
could you find from that game?
It's just a tease.
Listen,
We're
man.
gonna show up Sunday with no Kyrie and no Ben Simmons.
Here's
Now
what.
Go ahead.
Here's what we needed to see yesterday, because it's what we don't know because we haven't seen it. When Steve Nash has all his weapons, can he get that group of a team of like just disparate motherfuckers that just got thrown together? Because this wasn't the team for a long time. And even the game plan team, the team that they were supposed to have, got replaced by rookies in the middle of the fucking thing. So if I'm Steve Nash, I'm saying to myself, can I get this together in a quick enough time to make it cohesive and make it unstoppable? And this is Philly. Philly is a legit defense. So that being the case, for them to be able to perform the way they did last night and actually run plays, and you see the value of having Steph Curry, you see the value of having Dragic, all that is signs that I needed to see to feel better, and I feel good today. I really do.
But it's a mirage. Can't extrapolate it until everybody's back full time, and it's just like it's gonna be a tough game on Sunday without these guys versus the Knicks. The Knicks are playing better, and that's like that's what this whole season has been. Is even in the highest of moments, there's still this cloud hanging over this team. Now, what, a month away from the playoffs, essentially?
Essentially.
I mean, time is ticking, bro.
Look, as you know, as you know, I'm not saying anything surprising to you, but we got to talk to the mayor last night at an event, and that event, I basically set it up where Sam took all the blame for asking the Kyrie question, and it's. I'm trying to get more out of the mayor than than is Kyrie gonna play. So I brought Sam specifically. So one, that my future lawyer friend could see how capitalism moves the wheels of power, and how this mayor is not a conspiracy theorist. He's not a super leftist. He's not like bought by the pharmaceutical companies to do what? Spread the vaccine? Like this? Do you understand the ridiculous bag that the pharmaceutical companies have
Speaking of
made?
ridiculous, I saw someone today tweeting about how Kyrie should buy a ticket, sit front row, and then had argued with you that wouldn't be antagonistic of him. And it's like, that's the last thing Kyrie should be doing, is turning this into a pissing match because he's gonna lose that.
But what I'm happy about there is that he didn't turn it to a pissing match, which
Right.
is which like we were just saying, Kyrie has this dog in him. He's like, it looks weird because he's only 6'2", but what's the difference between what Kyrie does and what Kobe does?
I mean, there was one play last night. He came down probably towards like the right elbow, did like a little reverse dribble, put his shoulder into Maxey,
Right.
created space, showed him the ball, let him go up, took the hit M1, and got up like, yo, who the fuck is this guy guarding me? Who are you? Were you even on the scouting report, motherfucker? Like, who is this guy? You know, where's Danny Green? You know, and that's the stuff that you saw that in him and Durant last night.
Yeah.
I think they were like, yo, don't forget who we are.
Yeah, Embiid told Durant, you were just on the floor, and he was like, and I stood up.
Right.
What does that mean? Like,
congratulations, you were born like 50 to 60 pounds heavier than me, probably
Yeah.
more.
Oh, that's such basketball skills. You're just gonna run into people with your big ass. They couldn't have put two people I don't like more together. It's perfect because I have a hard time hating the team for Tobias. Like I said,
I
Tobias
don't
comes
hate
from a good
Joel.
Brooklyn family. I don't like Joel. I don't like him. He got a lot of punk in him, and I don't feel
I think that's good for the game.
That's because you bring that wrestling sentiment into this bullshit. I still believe in being a sportsman. Yo,
Yeah. Fuck that.
I'm smoking all of the drugs that grows through Kevin Durant. Like, fucking Kevin Durant, Matt. When has the Nets ever had a leader like that?
No, Evan Roberts said it best. Like, Kevin is very aware of the narratives surrounding the Nets franchise, the fans, and I think he takes it to heart. I don't think he quite grasped our standing in the city as an organization.
I don't think
I think he figured.
I don't think that shit matters to him.
It matters to an extent.
No, here's why it doesn't. Here's why I could prove it to you that it doesn't matter, and tell me and you could call bullshit on this. The reason why, like, Kevin Durant's the feeling inside of Kevin Durant about himself is that I'll go anywhere and make it what it needs to be. Like, he doesn't. I haven't checked in a while, but at one point, Kevin Durant had more followers than the Knicks do. So, if the way these younger dudes see themselves, even though Kevin Durant is really your generation of basketball player, he's still a younger dude. He still barely can remember when there was no internet. So in his mind, in Kevin Durant's mind, he feels like I could go anywhere and I'm gonna make it the shit. Like, the branding is right, the organization right, the basketball's right. I'm gonna make it.
But I still think he was. I still think he was surprised when he got here. That it didn't happen as quick as maybe he thought. Like that, like his effect didn't have as much because of the loyalty to the Knicks here, and he doesn't care. But I think he's like, he speaks for us, and he's like, I hear Net fans and what they say about our fan base, and he goes to bat for us. He'll talk shit about the Knicks fan, the Sixer fan, you know. So he's a great ambassador for us, and he's standing up to the bullies for us, basically.
Right.
And saying, you know what, like, say whatever you want about my people, but like, those are my guys. And I think we all love him for that.
That's the dopest part of it. Like, there is where I agree 100% with you. It's like, I'm that dude. I'm at the Knicks fans' throats. Like, it's so crazy. The same punk motherfuckers that try to say, oh, you're not a real Nets fan. You weren't there in New Jersey. Listen, There's not one of you dweebs who will go right into the lion's den of Nick fandom and fucking talk shit to them. None of you. Until